6, 8. Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show with me, Dave Juskow, and Mike V. Suarez. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, coming out of New York City on a medium weather day. It's going to snow tomorrow, and that should probably be the end of winter. There's always one last blast right around my sister's birthday, which is March 15th. It's a tradition. It's funny that people forget every year. And then after that, we can usually relax and then bring on May, because April sucks. May will be awesome. But anyway, we do this show in regards to the Comedy Cellar to tell you how great the Comedy Cellar is, that it is the legendary comedy club in the West Village. If you are ever in New York City or live in New York City, that is the only place you want to go for comedy. There's shows every night, and they're always spectacular. And, of course, if you are in Las Vegas, go to see our good friend, Mark Coco Cohen, at the Rio Hotel and have the Comedy Cellar experience there. Well, I must say it has been quite a week. Of course, as you know or do not know, I was opening for Rachel Feinstein at Bananas in New Jersey this past weekend. Bananas. I don't know how they came up with a name like that for a comedy club, but it was a lot of fun, and I love performing anywhere around the Meadowlands. For some reason, that is my happy place. That's where all the wonderful tailgates have happened. Now, I don't like the tailgates as much. I don't know why. I think it's the group of guys I'm going with, or maybe I just don't like getting that messed up anymore. I can't decide, because day drinking has been problematic, and that's always been problematic for me. But day drinking is definitely a younger man's game, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that. Also, I want to tell you I will be performing at the Comedy Cellar, or at the Fat Black Pussycat, on March 30th with Marina Franklin. That is a Wednesday night, I believe, March 30th. So, of course, if you're in town then, that's double the fun, not just the Comedy Cellar, but your pal, Dave Juskow, at the Comedy Cellar. That'll be unbelievable. Oh, and right. Thank you, Anonymous, for letting us know Happy International Women's Day. And with that being said, let me show you how all in I was on International Women's Day today. I don't think they knew, but as you know, I like to read the New York Post, especially on Tuesdays, see what's happening. And although there is a war going on, Mike, if you could pick up picture number 1. Of course, this is why I enjoy the New York Post, because they always have pictures like this. They're talking about, I don't know who that woman is. I mean, she's lovely, of course, but they're all talking about this pink dress by Zara, which is becoming the TikTok wave of the day or this week, because that little pink, beautiful dress really is terrific. Looks great on everybody. Only $60. And it is the talk of TikTok. Say that 3 times fast. And then, of course, picture number 2 on the next page was the very beautiful Vanessa Hudgens wearing that lovely, whatever that is, out of that Paris fashion show. She is terrific. And so if you don't like that, then you're not celebrating International Women's Day correctly. And again, people say, why do you read the New York Post? Well, there it is. Thank you, Mike. I'll tell you this one thing before I move on. So we were planning on having my friend Mike Sauter do a Beatles thing today, but it was so funny. I'm like, so Mike, are you ready? We'll choose a song, and I don't know whether you've seen this Seinfeld episode with this guy, Mike. If you put up this picture, I don't know if you've ever seen this Seinfeld episode with the guy that's making the cabinets, who cannot give Seinfeld a straight answer. The nicest guy you've ever met, like this cabinet guy, like Mike Sauter, but he can't give you a straight answer. Thank you, Mike. And that's what happened. I was like, so on Sunday, I guess I got a little high before I talked to him. And I'm like, so yeah, let's do it. Let's do like a 15-minute show. Like, can you do Sergeant Pepper's? He goes, well, yeah, I guess so. I guess I could do Sergeant Pepper's. I'm like, well, can you or can't you? Well, I can do whatever you want. And I'm like, well, can you do Sergeant Pepper's? He's like, well, yeah, I just have to fix it. And I'm like, well, how do you have to fix it? All right, let me put it this way. Do you have a 15-minute presentation that we can use? And he's like, well, yeah, but or I can make one. I'm like, well, you just said you had a 15-minute. Which of the songs that you said is a 15-minute presentation? I don't know. I couldn't get a straight answer from him. I'm like, wait, is it a PowerPoint presentation or is it just an audio? He's like, well, it's both. Well, which song is both? It was like roundabout, and again, I was too high, and I'm like, all right, let's just pull the plug on this week, and sometime next week you'll show me what you have. And I was like, Mike, you got to get this down because I think you should be doing this at colleges and universities, because I think people would be interested in whatever he has to say. But he can't explain what it is, and you're just like, and then he's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, I want a 15-minute presentation on the Beatles on one song with PowerPoint and audio. And he's like, well, I could probably do that. I'm like, can you do it or can't you do it? I'm getting myself annoyed just by talking about our conversation. And like I said, he unfortunately called me up. I had actually called him. I said, well, don't call me tonight because I'm going to get high and then I can't concentrate. And Marcy, thank you so much, and Anonymous, for mentioning that today is also Prince Spaghetti Day. Obviously, those people listen to the Billy Joel podcast, where we all know that the song Moving Out was taken from the commercial from the 60s, or the 70s, I guess, when I saw it, that everybody knows that Wednesday was Prince Spaghetti Day, because Anthony would run through the streets of Boston and his mother would call him. And, oh, you're right, Anonymous, that's Wednesday. That's right. God damn it. I thought it was Wednesday. Oh, I'm such a mess because I don't work anymore. You're right. That is Wednesday. The hell am I thinking? Well, anyway, I like talking about Prince Spaghetti Day anyway because it's delicious. Who doesn't like Prince Spaghetti Day? The funny thing is that Prince Spaghetti, with all that and a song, one of the most famous songs by Billy Joel ever, Prince Spaghetti went out of business. That's the headline you got to lead with. But now I think I use Ronzoni, unless somebody knows of a better spaghetti. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I said it after you said you were opening for Marina on a Wednesday. Sorry, Anonymous. Got it. Right. I'm pretty sure that's Wednesday. Also, we got anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I was going to talk about something else, but I realized I don't want to talk about that here. Anyway, right. So let me just explain, and we'll go on with the monologue in a second. Tonight's show, we have it's the hour show, but we're just going to look at photos today. Next week, we have our March Madness show. So we're going to make some picks, which we always like to do, no matter what it is. If you know about sports, if you don't, it's still fun to make picks. Catalina will help us because she's the only one who's in college, and they're all college picks. So, maybe that'll help. I don't know. But the tournament is happening tomorrow, and of course, there hasn't been a good one in 2 years. So that's always fun, one would hope. I don't know. Maybe it won't be, maybe it will. And I think we'll pick the Razzies that day. So we might go a little extra longer next week. We're going to pick the Razzies because get ready and start watching those Oscar movies, because in 2 weeks, we're going to make our Oscar picks. I think I'm going to have my friend little Scotty Gornstein on to make the picks. He's hilarious. He's all he ever wants is for Timothée Chalamet to win whatever. So be prepared for that. And he worships Liza Minnelli. So you see where this is going. Anyway, but I think we need to pick the Razzies the week before too, because that comes out Saturday. Anyway, so just get prepared and learn the Oscar picks. So I actually saw Nightmare Alley. Right, exactly. I have to watch the movies too, Catalina. I watched Nightmare Alley on Sunday night or Monday. I can't remember. I guess it would be Sunday. No, it was last night. I watched it last night. Nightmare Alley. This movie should not be nominated for anything except for that it's well shot. It's Guillermo del Toro. And he's usually pretty good, although if he's the guy that did that Shape of Water, then that was bad. But he was also the guy that did Pan's Labyrinth, which was terrific. But this movie sucks. This movie really stinks. So we can already say that ain't going to win Best Picture for sure. It's a bad movie. Yeah, Anonymous, you hate it, so you saw it too. Yeah. It's a bad movie. It's poorly named because I'm not exactly sure why it's called Nightmare Alley. Yeah, exactly. Del Toro's usually great. but this movie doesn't work. It's still well filmed. He's still a really good director. Is he the guy? Did you guys know? Did he do what was that one that was in that took place? It was a girl's name, wasn't it? Or did it take place in a town? That won it. It was on Netflix and everybody was mad about it, but it wasn't horrible. I can't remember that name. I don't know whether that was him or I'm mixing up another Latino director, which would be rude of me, I guess, but I can't remember. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I think somebody just told me I need to see Coda, but I'm trying to see as many as I can before Oscar day so we can make our picks. So I thought Coda would be stupid, but then somebody told me it was pretty good. So we'll see. I don't know. It's fun kind of watching the Oscar movies, but boy, that Nightmare Alley, I can't believe how bad. I was really looking forward to seeing it. It just was so bad. Yeah, but come on, you could take a great right. The garbage can and it won't. Right. But what was the movie I'm thinking of? I feel like it was a woman's name in Mexico. I can't remember what it was. I feel like it was 2 years ago when everybody was upset because a Netflix thing had gone had become a thing of the year. So I don't know. Anyway, let's look forward to that. Marcy, what did I dislike about the Lucy Desi movie? It sucked. And my friend Scott Ackerman, who has been on this show, made an excellent point. And he said that Aaron Sorkin is great when he writes like The West Wing or The American President because we don't know anything about those things. So those shows appear really great. But what we do know is about comedy. And we don't think he knows anything about comedy, and that's what made that bad. Those scenes of Lucy figuring out the staging and stuff, the one from Comedy Bang Bang. It just seemed ridiculous. Mike, did you see the Lucy Desi movie? Maybe he took off. But yeah, Aaron Sorkin, usually my favorite too. The Social Network is amazing and so well written. But this movie stinks. And it wasn't the performances. Nicole Kidman was actually pretty good. Javier Bardem is amazing, always. So he was great. JJ, whatever his name is, the guy who's in Spider-Man was terrific as Fred Mertz. So it wasn't the performances. It's just the story, and it's stupid. And they chose to take 1 week out of Lucy's thing. It's just like Nightmare Alley. It's like, really? You want to make a movie about carnies? We haven't seen enough of that? So unnecessary. The movie makes no sense. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, well, I guess something big is going to happen. Nothing ever happens. It's really bad. And with a really good cast of people. J.K. Simmons, that's who I was thinking of, right? Yeah. Yeah, the guy who plays Devi, Marcy, is Javier Bardem. Yeah, he was fantastic. He's always really good. Apparently, there's a good documentary on Lucy and Desi, which is supposed to be a little better. So that's pretty good. Just really quick, before we actually there's nothing we have to rush for, so this is pretty much the show until we get to the slides. I got a lot of slides today, so right, I'm just keep on talking. I just found out that Disney Plus, I just finished the Book of Boba Fett, and if you get a chance to watch that, it's so good. Like, it didn't start out being good, but the last 3 episodes were so good. If you like Star Wars, because it's like really amazing. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good. So they're doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi show, Disney Plus, with Ewan McGregor, who is right. Alfonso Cuarón, Roma. Yes, thank you so much. That's exactly what I was thinking of, Roma. I did get them mixed up, and I apologize to anybody who's Catalina. Thank you. The cat is enjoying the rambles, Dave. Yes. She has Catalina just went back to school, and I guess apparently they don't live in dorms, but let's just say a dorm cat. And it seems to pick her room to go into, which of course, if you watch certain movies, that's not where, that's the cat that knows when everybody's going to die. Sorry. That happens in every horror movie you ever see. Oh, you don't want that cat on your bed. I'm not ready. You get out of here. But no, I've seen the cat and it's amazing. And who doesn't like the rambling? So anyway, what I was going to say is this guy, Hayden Christensen, who is maybe the worst actor I've ever seen, who played Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, in those horrible 3 other movies in between. is just such a bag of crap, and I hate him, and they're bringing him back. And that is just a huge mistake. Like, everybody hates that guy, and everybody hated him as Anakin Skywalker. So unless they're going to kill him off, I don't understand the reason for bringing him back. He's a very piss poor actor. And Ewan McGregor is so good. If you ever get the chance to see The Shining Part 2, it's called Dr. Sleep. It's good because he's so good. He's such a good actor. If you ever see Angels and Demons, I think it's called, the Da Vinci Code Part 2, that's great because he's great. Ewan McGregor, is great and gorgeous, and he's a really good actor. So, but these Disney Plus things, you have to trust them. They're usually really, really good. So it's good. Also, let's just talk about football for 1 second. Well, let's talk about baseball for a second. I have said on multiple podcasts that baseball should just, go away. No one cares. And then I get backlash all the time. How dare you? We love baseball. You shouldn't talk that way about it. I'm like, listen, baseball doesn't care about you. Now, they're on strike. They're canceling a bunch of games. And the fact that, I listen to sports stations all the time. They think no one cares. No one cares. And I remember when this happened in 1995. And it was so funny because the Yankees were on pace to win the World Series. This is the year before they won. They went on strike. And so were the Montreal Expos. And, it was possible that the Expos might have won a World Series and they'd still be in Montreal if that had happened. But they went on strike. And I remember saying to people, God, I really hope that no one goes to the games. That'll teach them, but that'll never happen. I mean, if you want to teach these people a lesson, don't show up. But I can't get that done. And I really want to, because they don't care about you. And of course, it's all about money. They don't care. MLB doesn't care about you because they schedule Sunday night baseball games last minute when you're trying to take your kids to an afternoon Sunday game. And then they move it to an 8:00 at night game. And no one cares about Sunday night baseball. So baseball stinks. 94 Anonymous. Thank you. And right, the owners suck and it's really awful. So I really wish nobody would show up when they come back. And it's really unacceptable that all this is happening. And I know maybe the players are trying to help other players like minor league baseball players, but it's all just really bad. And I just hope nobody shows up at the games. I mean, that would really send a message. And that's what needs to be done. And don't they realize no one's going to care? They're just losing. They're losing younger people that don't care about baseball because now, football and basketball are the ones. And they're losing so much money on gambling because now everybody's gambling, which brings us to our next topic. Did you hear about the guy from the Atlanta Falcons who got suspended for a year because he was gambling? Now, I get that they don't want somebody who plays in the league gambling, but the guy was kind of off, like he wasn't, either he's sick or he's on the injury list, and he was gambling on his own team. And if you're going to just nonstop promote gambling in every game and have banners there and television ads and your sports legends talking about gambling, I don't see how you can suspend a guy for betting just $1,500 on a parlay that included his team that he wasn't playing for that particular day. You ought to be ashamed of yourself in your two-faced ways. It's really bothering me. Also today, Aaron Rodgers made a huge deal, I think like a $200 million deal, $50 million a year for 4 years to stick with the Green Bay Packers. I think he deserves it. Everybody likes Aaron Rodgers, I think, even though he's unvaxxed and a liar. But, guy plays well and he brings in the fans. And if he wins the Super Bowl, then everything will be worth it. But whatever the case may be, I will also, I was thinking about talking about something. I don't want to bum anybody out, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'll mention that another time, perhaps on my own podcast, Just Go in the City, which airs every Tuesday, or comes out every Tuesday, or drops. Yeah, the Expos. Remember the Expos, Elizabeth? And right, Gabriel too. You live in Canada. Yeah, the Expos were awesome, and everybody liked the Expos. And what was his name? Felipe Alou used to be I think the last manager. The Expos, if they had won the series that year, thanks to that stupid strike, they'd probably still be in Montreal. Montreal doesn't have a team anymore. I don't know whether they're trying to get one, but Toronto is still pretty much in. Everybody seems to like the Toronto Blue Jays. Oh no, I was thinking of the Raptors that won a championship about 2 years ago. It's funny when one of the Canadian teams wins when there's only one in each league and they win, and it's basically an American sport. I don't know why they don't do it like hockey and just let everybody join in. And quite frankly, it's so funny in hockey because I don't know when the last Canadian team won a cup, a Stanley Cup. It's kind of bad. It's a Canadian-based sport, and the Canadians haven't won. I can't think of when. When was the last time a Canadian team won? Mike, if you find that out, I feel like it could be the Canadians, and that might have been years ago. I don't know. Right. I told you what was happening the next 2 weeks. Should I just get down to the slides and we just take our time and have a good time, or does anybody else want to talk about anything? Oh, I don't get to you. I know you like the Reds, Marcy. I know. See, you can't help yourself from going to a couple of games, and that's the issue, and they probably know that. But wouldn't it be great if everybody took a stand and taught them a lesson? It's very uncool. I was thinking about going down. I have friends that work for the Tampa Bay Rays, so a lot of times I like to go to those games. And I was going to be maybe down there in April, and now, of course, can't go. I don't care about baseball. I mean, I like the Mets and I like watching it sometimes, but it is slow and boring, and they got to pick it up if it's going to survive. And I just don't think anybody cares. And certainly, I don't think anybody younger cares. So I cooked this weekend. I made this Imperial Chinese chicken, which is very good. And for dessert, I had this new Cocoa Pebbles with marshmallows. It's like a dream come true. And it turns the milk chocolatey. It was delicious. I ate this box in 2 days. This was my dessert. 2 days. Ate the whole goddamn box. I love cereal with marshmallows in it. I love it. And I like the chocolatey ones even better. And if you remember, well, you probably won't remember, but a couple of years ago, I took a box of Count Chocula and counted the marshmallows and put the marshmallows in one and the oats in the other, and it didn't equal out. And then I made a real stink about it on Twitter because obviously I have nothing else to do. It was really sad. Oh, is that right? It was National Cereal Day yesterday. Well, I'm right on track then. God, this really was good. I like Cocoa Pebbles anyway, but they had changed the flavor. But this seemed to be back to where it needs to be, unless I have COVID and I don't know. But yeah, that was my dessert. Oh God, I'm gonna get so fat. Thank you, Elizabeth. The show with, if you're talking about the one with Rachel, it went really great. It was really fun. Everybody was there, and yeah, that was a fun place. The people that run it are really nice, and like I said, there's nothing better. The Canadians won in '93. Yeah, exactly. That's a long time ago for a Canadian-based sport not to win something.
Well, the Raptors won.
Jesus, why are you so loud?
Ago. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
I said the Raptors won 2 years ago.
Yeah, and then
Where have you been
in the 90s?
Were you in the bathroom? I told you, Barry, I crushed the Twinkies in my bag the other day when I finally found the Twinkies. I crushed them in my bag. I put that apple cider on top of it, and I crushed the Twinkies I finally found. It took me, I had to go to another state to get Twinkies. But the shows were good, and the best part about doing them is that it's only 5 minutes to get home, so that was good. But I think everything went well, and I did an okay job. I would like to think. At least people usually tell you they won't look at you if you did good, but everybody looked me in the eye, so I think that's a good sign. I've been having much better shows lately when they usually used to stink. But anyway, why don't we share the screen and let's get into the pictures, right? Because we will have a good time with this today. I've put up a bunch of slides today that I think you will like, that are obviously in the news, and obviously put on the Just Out twist, as we call it, which was the big hit song with the kids in 1985. Aunt Judy, you got more Gentleman Jack? That's what my sister likes to give. No, I didn't kill Rachel. Right? Oh, I guess you heard the podcast. No, everything's fine between me and Rachel Feinstein. There was just some issues with being a chauffeur for her. But I will love Rachel Feinstein from now until the end of time. She is one of my best friends, if not my best friend. Although when I said that, I didn't know Mike Suarez. So now I don't know. Now I get two best friends. Anywho, this first picture today is not Burning Man, Karina. It is actually a pathetic guy throwing a desk at Parliament in New Zealand. Remember, I'm putting this picture on because I think these kind of people are missing the point. Now, New Zealand, if you remember correctly, handled COVID brilliantly. That prime minister there was a genius. She put a shutdown to it, and nobody got COVID. And yes, okay, are they sick of restrictions? Yes, she's trying to be smart. She doesn't want it to come back in. And the point is that there's a big war going on in the Ukraine. Maybe these people haven't heard of it. And this guy's throwing a desk in front of a fire in Parliament. They're making a stink because they have to wear masks or whatever the restrictions are. These guys just don't get it. There's so many bigger problems. Look at these idiots. Right, at least they're not dead thanks to their prime minister. They're so angry. There's gotta be a better way to say we'd like the restrictions removed. I don't think anybody's doing it on purpose in New Zealand so people can't make money. They're just trying to do the best job they can to make sure everybody stays safe and there isn't another pandemic. And I will show you why that is in a second. But these people are losers. Look how mad this woman is. Same thing in New Zealand again. They're so angry. This is what the New Zealand police have to deal with. When there's a war going on in the Ukraine, these people are so angry because I don't know why. They have to wear a mask. I don't know. Relax. That's all I'm saying, right? Yeah, I know it. I guess it looks well. Where does it look beautiful? Here? I don't know. New Zealand. Who wants to go there anyway? This is a protest in Russia about the war. And obviously the reason I am showing this is because that girl over here is gorgeous. See, when you have protesters like that, you really got to guess, like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should take this more serious. That's what I would think. Maybe that's her and her mom. But look at that coat. Doesn't that look warm? That's the other reason I like it too. Let alone these guys wearing those hats. Those are those true Russian hats. I always thought that was only in the movies. So I like that picture. And everybody's down on Russian vodka, and so they should be. But you really want to pour it out? Can't just finish what you have and then not buy Russian vodka anymore? And quite frankly, is not buying Russian vodka going to help? Because from what I am to understand, the people that own this vodka is a guy that was born in Russia, but now he hates Putin. So however that's pronounced, Stolachanyana, are obviously rebranding their name to just Stoli because they're obviously getting some blowback for, being Russian. And, but this guy hates what Vladimir Putin's doing too. So I think we're boycotting the wrong thing. But again, why throw it out? Just don't buy any more if that's the plan. But I think you're barking up the wrong tree. They're just going to change it to this thing on the napkin thing, just Stoli. Like that's going to make a difference. I don't understand. That's so funny, Barry. He's not arresting her. He's taking her home. That's funny. Catalina, do you like drinking? See, now I love her even more. She's saying she's drinking. She's down outside the frame. So now the Russian tea room is having a problem. The Russian tea room, if you've ever been, there's a legendary place in New York City. I drive past it all the time when I'm getting my car out of the garage. This is where I park my garage. Really fucking annoying. The Russian tea room is legendary. It's been there for years, and it really has nothing to do with Russia. Nothing. So people are kind of boycotting the wrong thing, but it's got the word Russian in the title, and everybody's angry, and so they should be. I mean, look how, and so this is what is on their website. The Russian Tea Room renounces Russia's unprovoked acts of war in the strongest possible terms. For 95 years, the New York institution's history has been deeply rooted in speaking against communist dictatorship and for democracy. Just as the original founders, Soviet defectors who were displaced by the revolution, stood against Stalin's Soviet Union, we stand against Putin with the people of Ukraine. That's on the Russian Tea Room's website. So again, the same guy, the guy who owns Stoli, were Russian defectors that are not into what anybody's doing, but everybody's facts are incorrect. On the flip side of that, do you really want somebody to see you walking into the Russian Tea Room while all this is going on? And this is, but look how beautiful this place is. I mean, I've never been there, but look how lovely it is. I mean, it's really something. Oh, Barry, Barry says, Dave, we need a photo of you pouring out Russian dressing. Damn it. That's goddamn brilliant. I need to do that. McDonald's, Starbucks, and Coke, Marcy says, just pulled out of Russia today. That's interesting, and so they should. But here's the thing about the Russian Tea Room, which I don't want people to be angry at it. They filmed the best movies there. You might remember in Tootsie, when he's waiting outside and Dustin Hoffman's out, he goes, excuse me, can you tell me where the Russian Tea Room is? And that's her agent, Sidney Pollack, and the director of the film. And he goes, it's right here. He says, oh, thank you so much. Very kind. And then, of course, they sit at the table that we just saw, and he's like, it's me, Michael Dorsey, your client. Last roll, you cost me with a tomato. Oh, Michael, I begged you to get it. Well, I do. I have a job. I got a soap opera. Now, I need $1,000 to payday. I know all the dialogue, obviously. And the best part about, of course, this scene and Tootsie is that they even depicted it on Family Guy, where Brian doesn't know that is Stewie, which, of course, is always hilarious. And the Russian Tea Room was also in the movie Manhattan, where Woody Allen is taking his kid to the Russian Tea Room. And he's like, why do we have to go to the Russian Tea Room? And they make him put on a jacket. As you can see, it says RTR. And he says, why do we have to go? You look silly in that jacket. Why do we have to go to the Russian Tea Room? And he goes, because you want to get a blintz or something, we got to pick up ladies here. So there's been so much iconic movie making at the Russian Tea Room. I hate to see it treated that way because I can't believe it's still there. But boy, that really is some place. Huh? I got to go there one day. I guess not now, but I guess, or maybe I should support it. Now, probably a good time to go. Maybe I'll take a date there. I'm going to need some time getting a date. Let's see. Just like for the Paul Lauren concert, it's going to take some time. This is in London, England. And these are donations for Ukraine from people. I guess it's clothing and whatever somebody needs. As you can see, these are all garbage bags, I guess, full of donations. And it just looks so funny because this is what it's outside my house every Saturday morning. It looks exactly like this every Saturday morning, especially when I park my car. Elizabeth, if I could go with Catalina, I absolutely would. She's trying to make arrangements to come up here, take her wherever she needs to go. But yes, this is what happens every time I park my car. My car gets all mixed up. This is good garbage, like bottles, but it's mostly disgusting garbage. There's a Christmas tree outside. This is where my block is usually every Saturday morning. It's this gross. And you can hear the garbage trucks picking it up every Saturday morning. But it looks like a garbage strike every Friday night. It's a lot of goddamn garbage. This was a wax museum in Paris, and they are dismantling their wax figure of Vladimir Putin. I think that is one of the greatest pictures ever. And I obviously wanted to show it to you because that's hopefully that's the way it might end. You don't want to see bad, but I think it needs to happen that way. Am I right? We'll carry his head around and everybody will cheer because this guy, he just ain't getting it. The whole world's coming after you, douchebag. That's the good thing about this war is that it's kind of like World War II. We haven't had a good war where there's a definite villain and everyone knows it. You know, there's only one side to this. It's perfect. If there's going to be a war, this is a good one. You know, it's like the Nazis. Everybody's on board. Those are bad people. Let's go fight. Thank you. This is a picture of Niagara Falls that has the Ukraine colors. Now, I didn't know that beautiful Niagara Falls could even do that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool, right? But then I found other pictures where they can really step it up. I've never been there or anything. It looks amazing. I never had any interest in going there. But look at these. It looks great at night. Now I can see going there on a honeymoon or something because, you know, the only thing we know from that is, of course, Superman 2. And that doesn't look that great, Niagara Falls. I know that's at the end of Niagara Falls, but, you know, but it would be fun if you could see this. I mean, this kid is the stupidest kid. Superman 2. They can't make a movie like this because the kid's just an idiot, and his parents were just like, "That's good, that's nice, hon. Mom, look at me." I mean, this kid's the stupidest kid on the planet. I don't know. It doesn't bother me, but there goes Superman running in. See, those don't look as good as the. Why didn't they film it with the color at nighttime? That would have made the movie even more spectacular. Aunt Judy, have you been there? Yeah, get married and visit there. I guess I'd visit, but I don't know. You know, I don't like any of that touristy stuff. You know what I like to do? I want to get married. I got to find a woman that wants to get married, and then we go to a place like that, like Niagara Falls, but basically we just watch cable TV in our hotel room. That's the perfect honeymoon for me. So get ready, ladies. And speaking of honeymoons, I'm looking at what Catalina said. It was big. What's Valparaiso? Is the poor sister city, very dangerous at times, but also a city full of college students. What? Then I got to go there. Valparaiso, a city full of college students. I guess I'm just thinking of college girls, not just college students. Anyway, this guy is a Swedish speed skater named Nils van der Poel, and he won some speed skating, the most boring of all sports, this past Olympics in Beijing. And he's giving this medal to this ridiculously hot girl, Angela Gee. I think it's the same name as that girl we hate, in England Thursday, because her father is in prison in China for publishing books critical of Beijing. So this guy is giving the medal that he won in Beijing and saying, look, I want you to have this, which is really cool. But I wonder if he's only doing it because he knew that she was good looking. I wonder if this would be a difference, or because look how good they look together. Why aren't they together? How are they not dating? Look how they look like they're married already. But it's cool that he's like saying, I want to do something to help your father. But I just wonder, because she's so pretty, like, would it be different if she was unattractive? I don't know. That's the way I think. I always, I'm always suspect of everybody's good deeds. So this is what I wanted to tell you about. This is a makeshift hospital in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is having the city's biggest outbreak of COVID now. Am I mistaken, or is that where it started? I might have my geography mixed up. Yeah, I know, horrible thing to say on International Women's Day. Anyway, if there's a huge outbreak where it possibly started, are we in for trouble again? That's why I stick with the Prime Minister of New Zealand. She might be doing it just right. Or maybe Hong Kong is just messing it up. But aren't those the people that just wear constant masks all the time? So if they're having a big outbreak like this, maybe a little nervous. This is this crazy soccer game that apparently happens every year. It's called the Ashborne Royal Shrovetide football match. It's been played since medieval times. And this town of Ashborne has goals on the opposite side of town. So they're 3 miles apart. And anybody can play, and they all have to just kind of push the ball for 2 days, like trying to get goals. It doesn't make any sense. And there's no rules. except they've looked it up online, and there were some rules from the 12th century that said no murdering. So that's the only rule. This wouldn't be for me. And of course, when you're talking about no rules, you're obviously talking about, what's going on at Thunder Road in the movie Grease. Because Craterface says the rules are there ain't no rules. I think I use that line all the time. I think is that my Twitter line? We're racing for waiting for pink slips. Oh no, my Twitter line is from Stripes. So this is a kid in Indonesia where they had floods on Tuesday, and he's wading through the waters in a basket, and it really does look like a lot of fun, except for that water just looks horribly polluted and awful. I bring this picture up because the next picture has, in Indonesia, there was an earthquake in Indonesia. So, Mike, we're still on the air, right? I feel like nobody's here. I'll just assume that everybody's still with me, right? I feel like I've been talking for hours and I haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah.
And I see, okay, because I saw the chat room stopped. I got nervous. Right. So you got floods. This is all in Indonesia this week. And earthquakes. And then this is, it's called Lukadgini, or I can't pronounce it. And people fight each other with fire to purify the microcosmos and macrocosmos, which is believed to neutralize negative energy and maintain the universe's harmony. And they fight each other with purifying fire. They just hit each other with fire. And I say, this is so stupid, because if they're getting rid of, they want to bring negative energy to purity, it's not working. This is the same place. They're doing it in Indonesia. It's not working. See? How do you explain floods and earthquakes if you're purifying everything? I'd say stop this tradition. It ain't working. What happens if you don't do this year? Let's see if you don't have any earthquakes or floods. Thank you. If you saw the State of the Union address by Biden this week, you saw that they gave a little standing ovation to Justice Stephen Breyer at the end, and you can see how touched he is. But that, what he's doing, he's like, it looks like he's like, you guys, because those are his fellow, court staffers. And of course, it reminded me of when Ty did that to Alicia Silverstone in D in the movie of Clues, where she goes, I have an idea. Let's blow off 7th and 8th, go to the mall, have a calorie fest, and see the new Christian Slater. You guys. No, not.
I get that vibe too.
Oh, you do? Thank God. I assumed everybody went with the Clueless comparison after that. And I suppose these ladies who were heckling the State of the Union. You might have different opinions from the President of the United States, but there's a thing called class. And this is just not right. Yes, these girls are attractive.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you the next picture. This girl on the left, I never heard of her before. What is her name? Laura Booten or something like that? I don't know what it is. Bobert. This is her. What?
She pregnant?
That's what it looks like, but no, I think she lost weight when she became governor. She owns a restaurant called Shooters, where all the staff carries firearms. She's the representative, a Republican from Colorado. And this is her yelling on she somehow won and now sides with these crazy people. But that's her. And yet, I find that completely attractive. God damn it, I hate myself.
I think that's just a good photo of her.
But yeah, she does look different than she looks here. I think when she actually got into Congress, she made herself look a little better. Yeah, Stadler and Waldorf house. That's nice, Karina. Yeah, Stadler and Waldorf. Yeah, and this is a candidate who's running for she's running for the French president to be president of France, and she tried to kiss a cow the other day, and that seems better than running on everybody should be able to carry a gun. Can you imagine going into this restaurant? I can't imagine bringing my mother into this restaurant and everybody's carrying a sidearm. And on the flip side, probably the safest place in town. I remember I took my mother to Kentucky once. We had to go because of her horrible brother. You can see that in the podcast where I said my uncle burns in hell. And we went to this restaurant during the gun show, and we were nervous. But then when we thought about it, we're like, well, if anybody comes in to rob this place, we're probably going to be safe. We figure everybody's packing. This is a picture that I found of a high school student practicing, what do you call it, warming up for track and field in Kansas. This beautiful shot. I used to run cross country, and we used to practice, but we had to run over this bridge. It's disgusting. This is in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. And remember I told you, I showed you this picture before, my mother used to swim in this. Okay? It's a tiny different. It's quite a departure from here, actually. Yeah, it was disgusting. I know, Marcy. I know that's not all of Kentucky. We just saw the worst parts. But then I realized this was actually how we got to that bridge. This was right by my junior high, and it kind of looks like any town USA there. It kind of looks like it could be Kansas or something. It's right by the highway, of course, because it's Jersey, so there's highways everywhere. And ironically, bringing it back, this is where Brittany Murphy also went to junior high before she died. I know, I should start running again. I tried for a while, and then I realized I really hate cross-country running, and it's stupid. If I was going to run, maybe running a mile would be good, but running 26 miles on marathon stuff, it's just dumb. And it doesn't help you healthy-wise. It's unhealthy, I believe, to run that many miles. Mike, your thoughts?
Oof. I mean, it can't be good for your knees.
Exactly. And a lot of times when my knees are hurting, I say hi to my knee. And I say, hi, knee. This is, you know how I hate parades? But if they had a parade like this, is the day before Mardi Gras. It's held on Fat Monday, and it's a new parade that Harry Connick Jr. started. God, another fucking parade. I swear to God, if I was the mayor of that town, I'd stop Mardi Gras. I'd stop everything. I hate these parades. But the reason I hate parades is because I hate marching bands, and mostly all parades suck. But if you got a parade like this, and they got floats like this that are kind of spectacular, that's a fun parade. That is exciting. It's the only bad part about it is that, Harry Connick Jr. is involved. Thank you. And this was for a carnival in Venezuela. And I guess all these women were being held hostage. I'm kidding. They're mannequins. And they were protecting them from the rain. But when I first saw it, I'm like, oh no, this must be going on in the Ukraine. They're mannequins. Why do I keep saying that in a weird way? Mannequins. I keep saying mannequins. That's weird. I really thought they were for real, and I'm like, oh no. But no. Is that funny, or is that just me? Yeah, I know, right, Catalina? It seems like we love parades. We don't. Well, I don't. Everybody else does. Parades are stupid, and marching bands stink. We got to up the parades. If we're going to do the parades, we got to up them. But in New York City, they all need to stop. There's just not enough room. And you know how I love talking about Fashion Week. Marcy, if you say you wish I didn't hate marching bands, that means you must have been in one, or your kids are in one. Those are the only people. Every time I'm on stage, I ask who likes marching bands, and they always tell me it's always somebody who's either been in a marching band or their kids are. You know damn well marching bands stink. And I always use the point that if Beyonce wanted to hear all the singer ladies in a marching band, she would have said, you know what would make this song better? A tuba. And that's never going to happen. So I am always obsessed with Fashion Week. And this was, Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. I've been in Fashion Week, not on the runway, but part of it and stuff. And Fashion Week is usually a lot of fun and it's exciting. And if you can, be in Fashion Week, it's like a thing. You're in the center of the universe. It's exciting. I'm sorry, just for Catalina. So the streets end up smelling like pee and pot. Yeah, well, that's every day here in New York City. So, see, Marcy, I wasn't a marching band. I taught marching band. My child was in a marching band. That's so obvious, Marcy. I called you on it right away. Do you guys ever relax like Aunt Judy, have a little Jack Daniels, show's over, put on your earphones and listening to marching band music? I mean, come on. This is why marching bands have to go. Anyway, Fashion Week started this whole COVID mess. You're probably right. I think you're right because you're right in 2020. Anyway, this is this guy, Rick Owens. And I'm trying to figure out fashion because I don't get this. This is Fashion Week. And I don't understand how dishwashing gloves and an overcoat make up fashion. I think this guy's either making fun of us or whatever. I mean, what are we doing now? We're just doing poor people's fashion? What now you're just wearing a blanket? Do you know that I Love Lucy predicted this 66 years ago, almost to this date, with the legendary episode of them wearing burlap sacks, potato burlap sacks? A classic episode where Lucy and Ethel they were in Paris and they wanted Ricky to buy, or Lucy wanted to buy him a real Paris dress by this designer. And he found out she was doing something like she was going on a hunger strike, but he found out she was cheating. So he bought her this joke like this. Oh, this is the new fashion. It's a horse feed bag on top and Ethel got an ice bucket on top. And they walk into this restaurant wearing this. And then, and it's like a joke. But is it a joke? I mean, the joke's on us. They were making a joke. And then the gag in I Love Lucy, so brilliantly written, is that they burn them because they realize they've been humiliated. The next day they go back to that cafe and all these people are wearing what they were wearing. A legendary, all the way from the 50s, great gag of stuff. Here's the best part. You ready for this? You see this woman right here? See this woman right here? Would anyone like to guess whose mother that is? She is just walking across. Would you like to guess whose mother that is? And there's no way they could know back then because she might have been born, but who knows? But the mother. Anything? Anybody know yet who this child is? Should I step it up? It's somebody great. I can't believe her mother had this little part. You ready for the next photo? I think you'll be able to guess. Mike?
Streisand?
No. Excellent though. Excellent. No, the answer is
that was my second guess. I thought it was too old.
It's Cher, and as you can tell from this photo, this was definitely 1986. There's no doubt about that. The mother and daughter fashion is from, I knew right away it was from, I didn't even have to look at the date, and then I did. But yeah, and then of course, I believe her mother is like 90 there. She looks amazing, just like Cher. It's funny, but yeah. Yes. Yeah, Liz, you said Barbara too. That's so funny. You see that Mike Elizabeth said Cher, Barbara first. Yeah. Isn't that great? You believe that? Her mom was in an episode of I Love Lucy in a legendary last gag sketch. And finally, I just found this site where they put people with their younger selves. Isn't that terrific? I just took this one and this Robert De Niro one. There's a bunch of them. I just took these because the one I want to show you is where there's 3. And then you forget sometimes you have to respect, even though we don't respect them anymore. Look at this one. 3 younger selves. He had 3 different kinds of looks and careers. And I love that picture. Even though I hate it too. God, I used to love Michael Jackson. I still love his music. It's just, ugh. No, I know, Anonymous. I wanted to make one for myself. I'll try next week, but you got to like this outstanding photoshopping. It's really good, right? The one that caught my eye, the reason I thought about it was actually Hermione. Um, what's her name? Emma Watson from Harry Potter. It's a really good one with her and her younger self, which I guess was easier to do because you have clearer photos. It's obviously a little bit more difficult for me and Robert De Niro. But yeah, get the little boy away from that guy. Damn it, that's funny, Marsh. I should have kept that photo up there. Good one. That's our show for today. Because I know Mike's got to go early, and we will probably have a longer show next week, and we had a longer show last week. But great time again today. I cannot. Yeah, I look a little like young Tom Hanks. That's true.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how this show every week cheers me up. Makes me happy. What?
Me too.
Yeah.
Am I too low now?
No, you're perfect. No, I can totally hear you. I talk so much. I was talking over you. Of course. How could you? You can't get a word in edgewise. Nobody can. I know. But this is why I'd be good in like a children's hospital. I'm really good at putting people to sleep. Like when they get, Jesus, is he going to keep talking?
That might be a better way to word that.
Maybe not. I like white noise. That's what I do. That's my thing. I should get paid for that. Oh, I'll put her to sleep. Don't worry. I'll just talk about my day. And, for cereal today, I had Cocoa. All right. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget, Mike, are you somewhere this week until next Tuesday? Are you going to be somewhere in between?
This weekend, I'll be in Houston at the Improv with Big J. Okerson. This weekend. Yes. Next week, I'll have a couple shows in Austin. And the week after that, I'll be in San Antonio with Giannis Papas.
Terrific. Just get on the city. Billy Joel A to Z, obviously. This week, nothing this weekend, but remember March 30th with Marina here at the Comedy Cellar. And then I have a show at another location on April 14th, which I will tell you about in the coming weeks. Anyway, next week will be our big March Madness thing. We'll make some picks. We'll pick some early Oscar, like the bad Oscar stuff, the fun ones where everybody's a horrible actor. And that'll be fun. The Razzies, which will be like our tiebreaker thing. I'll figure something out. We'll have joyous fun and a good time as always. And I love you guys in the chat room. Thank you so much for everything. And Mike, thank you always for your help. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Good night, everybody.